Hello viewers. So today I will take you to a trip down the memory lane. So here, as you can see on my hands, is a Sony PlayStation Portable, or popularly called as PSP. So the PlayStation Portable was a handheld game console developed and marketed by Sony Computer Entertainment. This was first released in Japan in December 2004. There were like 4 iterations of the device, starting from PSP 1000 series, 2000 series, 3000, the PSP Go and the PSP Street. The one I have with me is PSP 3000 series, 3004 to be precise. So it has 64 MB RAM, a 4.3 inch screen. The resolution I think is 480 by 272, and basically it also has Wi-Fi. In terms of battery, it has a 1200 mAh battery which is supposed to last like 5 to 6 hours. So considering the RAM that nowadays phones have, the 64 MB looks like too puny, but then it supports really great games. So the PSPs were one of the most popular gaming consoles, and there are thousands of games available for this. There are 2 ways to load games. One is through using Sony's Memory Stick Pro Duo cards, and the second option is using the UMD discs. So both of these are Sony's proprietary technologies, and they are quite rare to find and also very expensive. So the best hack someone needs to do is to buy a normal micro SD card, buy a Sony Pro Duo adapter, put the micro SD card on the adapter and loads hundreds of games on the card itself. So that is what I have done. Going forward, you would be seeing the number of games that I have put in this single card. Now to do this, there is a simple custom firmware that you need to update your device to. The process is fairly simple, and if you Google it, you'd be able to find it fairly easily. So yeah, that's what my device looks like. So I'll just, as I walk you through the user interface, I'll just give you a brief about what craze this device had. I mean, I had for the first time seen this device in 2008 when I went to my undergrads college for the first time. So there is this one guy who had this device, and he was like the coolest dude in the entire campus. So he used to play GTA Vice City on this, and I was simply amazed because coming from a small town, I had never even known that this kind of device existed. So when I saw him playing a game like GTA Vice City on this, I was just awestruck. Anyway, I would just sit next to him and see how he used to play, and it was fairly expensive at that point of time. I think it costed somewhere around 15,000 bucks, which was way out of my league. So it was sort of a dream to have this device someday. Got it like 10, 12 years after the device actually ceased to exist. But anyway, fairly happy that finally I have it in my hands. So I had got this device 3 or 4 years back. So I bought it second hand through a seller in OLX. So that's how it is. I mean, if you want to buy this device, that's fairly simple. I mean, you can search it up in OLX or Quicker. You should be able to get some fairly good deals. Or the other option, it would be available in the electronics market. For example, if I talk about Delhi, you can find it easily in Karol Bagh or Chandni Chowk or any of those markets. Similarly in Kolkata also. So the buttons and the user interface, as you can see, is extremely slick and smooth. Moving through the menus is like a delight. So the first tab you have is a digital comics. I have already told you this has WLAN, so I have been able to connect it to at least 2.4 GHz networks. It doesn't connect to my Wi-Fi router, but to my hotspot that I'm creating from my phone, it's able to connect. So it takes a few seconds to get connected, but you would be able to see what it shows up when it connects to the comic books store. And going forward, similar would be the case with the other apps also which ask for connection. So as you can see, the comic store for PSP closed like on 30th October 2012, which is like 9 years from now. So you won't be able to download any comics on this. So yeah, that shows how old the device is. But the icing on the cake is this device still survives and still works smooth as hell. Now the next app that you can see here is a camera app. So some of the models of this device did have a camera. Also it was sold as an accessory. But then this one doesn't have, so it shows up an error when I try to open the camera app. So yeah, you also get a cool gallery app. So you will be able to view your images saved. So for the sake of having this feature tested, I have copied some images into my PlayStation, and here you can see these rich images in this highly pixelated, super pixelated display. So moving to the next set of apps. So these are basically some music apps that used to work maybe long time back, but just like the comic store which closed in 2012, these also I think have closed back in 2012 only. So yeah, no more streaming music as of now. So as I have already told you, this device came out in 2004. I mean the first model. This variant came out in 2008, I guess. But yeah, considering that time period, this was one of the biggest displays available in the market. The phones during that period had like 3-inch screens, 2.6-inch screens. For example, even the Nokia N95 that came in 2007, I guess 6-7, that had a 2.6-inch screen. So this was a huge screen, to be honest. I think 3.2 or something like that. And viewing videos on this was a completely wholesome experience. So here you can see I have put my last vlog video that I shot in Kanwa Reservoir, and yeah, the videos look really good. I mean the time in which this device came out at, I guess this would have been the best option available if you had the money to view video on the go. So apart from that video, you can also see I put Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah, again the same thing. I mean viewing on the go video on this huge display is superb. So next is the game feature. I'll move to this in a bit because that's what the rest of the review will be on. So apart from games, you have a web browser and some account management features. So just like I said, none of the internet related things will work. The web browser hardly opens, but then it's better not to use it. So finally, yeah, let's move to the gaming section. So as you can see, the entire list of my games are in the memory stick. So let it open. Because I have a huge range of games, this is not meant to store that huge number of games. Now I'll just put the background music and you can see the whole range of games that I have put in here. 64 GB, I don't think 64 GB cards even existed at that point of time. So yeah, please enjoy. So these have range of titles starting from GTA, Vice City, Final Fantasy, God of War, Bay Area, NFS Carbon. Just go through this. So one cool thing about the gaming section is all the games are listed in a vertical slide on the left hand side, and whenever you pick your directional buttons on top of any game, a small video would start playing on the thumbnail. Also you get to see some basic idea of what the game would look like. So yeah, back in those days the game launcher was something that we don't see anymore in our Android devices. I hope, we get to see at least some sort of this kind of thing being implemented. I mean, some of the gaming phones actually have a gaming mode in which the games show up like this, but because gaming is not the primary function of a handheld device anymore, we don't see any user interface like this. So yeah, finally I have to fast forward the games because of the huge number of games that I have already put on my 64 GB card, and that doesn't even come close to the number of games this device actually has for it. So there are multiple sequences of each and every game. I have just tried to keep one one title and not fill up with the sequences, but yeah, you can have an idea, right? So the number of titles are just like infinite, and not only on the number of titles. So you'd be seeing that there are almost all the classic consoles, for example SNES, Nintendo DS, then NES. Any of these emulators you would be able to install on this device, which actually opens up another whole universe of games. For example, here I have put up the GBA mod, I have put up the Nintendo DS emulator, I have also put the Nestor J emulator, which opens up the entire Marios and Contras and Double Dragons of the world. So the list and the possibilities with this device is unlimited. There you see GTA Vice City. So if you are someone who wants to preserve your 90s memories, just try to get hold of this device before it runs out, before you are not able to find this anywhere in the market. Let's now move to some gameplay. So to start off with, let's start with God of War, which is one of the highest rated AAA title even at this point of time. I mean some version of it or the other. The one that I have here, I think, is Ghost of Sparta. This is the one that I have placed amongst the most in this console. Just try to compare the graphics quality that this game has with the kind of graphics quality you see in current day games like PUBG, Fortnite, for example Genshin Impact also. So it's very hard to imagine that a game for a device that launched in 2004 would have this kind of quality. I mean, that's mind-blowing. Even if this kind of games come for the Android devices of current times, these will be the type of games people will really love. There are very few types of games that have made a mark in Android right now. I think it's time for these kind of games to come up. Let's go through the gameplay a bit. Yeah, now time for some GTA Vice City. Again, that classic Rockstar logo. So you can see, I mean, games for this device would always come with the cutscenes that you would usually see in the PC version. So just enjoy the classic music. If you look at the graphics quality, again, this is very hard to imagine that a device with 64 MB of RAM and internal memory of again 64 MB would be able to run games in such high quality graphics that would match even the games that are available for handheld devices right now. I mean, just look at this. You can easily compare this with maybe PUBG, Fortnite or Genshin Impact, or even the Vice City or GTA 5. I don't think GTA 5, I think Gangster is the series of games which are colloquial to what GTA series are for PCs and all. So even the graphics at this point of time is also comparable. So this also goes a long way to explain that hardware is not the only thing that matters to give top-notch performance. Software and the optimization of the hardware or with the software is something that matters the most. So that's how the gameplay is, and that's how the quality of graphics is. So moving to some other games, this is Final Fantasy Crisis Core. This is again one of the everlasting games that you will find, and I'm still waiting for this game to come up for Android. Another game that I played a lot and I still find it to be a competitive game even at this point of time is Virtua Tennis. This is the quality that has remained the same even with the smartphone version that you find right now on Play Store. So again, amazing quality of graphics, and I really love playing this game. Whenever I start it, I would usually play it for a couple of sets before quitting. Just look at this. So let's try a racing game also now. So this is Burnout, which again has multiple series like Burnout 1, Burnout 2, etc. The graphics you can see here is again quite contemporary considering mobile standards. So as I told you, this also supported UMD discs. So there's this cool disk loading tray that even at this time looks like a device from some long ahead time in the future. Just look at the way and how cool it would have looked for anyone who had this device at that point of time. So I just had one UMD disk that I've loaded here, and that's all. That's just to show. So it's a simple game, Desi Adda. And this game is from an Indian developer. Quite surprising, even at that time we had decent quality developers, which we don't have now. So moving on, we have this Nestor J emulator, which is emulator for SNES and NES games. So now time to move even further into nostalgia. You can see all the titles that we played on those video games we had during our childhood. So the entire library, almost the entire library I have here. And the way the keypad is laid out, it's extremely easy. I mean, it takes you right back into those times, like 4 keys on the left, 4 keys on the right, start and select button. And so here is our famous Super Mario. So another classic of those times, Double Dragon. The music itself takes me back to those times. So yeah, I mean, Super Mario, Double Dragon, Contra, Contra Force, Castlevania, Pinball, whatever name, Adventure Island, whatever name you can think of, you will be able to play to your heart's extent on this device. And this funny kick of Double Dragon still cracks me up. So yes guys, this was a brief memory back to nostalgia. Just like I said, I couldn't have the device when this was like the rage amongst the rich kids. I saw this device for the first time in my undergrad college when it was my first year. So there was this one guy who had a PSP. He used to play games on this, he used to surf web browser on this. I mean, he was like the coolest dude in my batch. So that was in 2008. So that was sort of a dive into the past. If you are a connoisseur of games, just try to find this anywhere in the market, in OLX, in those electronics market. I don't think it will be available for much longer. This is the item worth treasuring. Thank you for watching my video, guys. This is a new series into nostalgia that I am starting. I'll try to include other devices also. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and supporting.